Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kristen, and today I'd like to tell you about my experiences at the 2024 San Francisco Pen Show. So right now I am back home. I've had a couple days to rest because I basically crashed as soon as I got home on Sunday. So there were many reasons why I was not able to come to you with a daily debriefing as I did last year, but I just want to go ahead and dig in and let you know what I got on day 1, day 2, day 3, and the things that I learned. Before we even get to day 1, I want to let you know what my goals were so that you can kind of understand my thought process and actions throughout the pen show. So my priority for the 2024 pen show was to get specific fountain pens ground by Nib Meisters. Many of those pens, as planned, I was able to get ground to whatever specific grind I wanted, heavily skewed towards cursive smooth italics. But there were some that I kind of forgot or just decided not to do in favor of others this year because of my purchases. So the first thing I did was I woke up way too early on day 1, Friday morning. I don't know how I got it into my mind that it was 4 a.m. that I was supposed to wake up and sign my name for some time with Mike Masuyama and Matthew Chen. It was actually 6 a.m. according to my notes and my video from last year. So I woke up at like 3:30, 3:45 in the morning on Friday morning, rewatched my own video so that I could confirm whether or not I was supposed to be up at 3 in the morning. So I went back to sleep, got back up, and went downstairs at 6:06 a.m. and I was the 9th person in line. There were already 8 other people in front of me before the show even began. So that was interesting. I'm just glad that I got on the list. Absolutely glad that I got on the list. It didn't matter like what order I was in as long as I was able to be seen by Mike Masuyama. Because the pen show started or opened to the all access pass holders an hour later on Friday, that meant that the list for the nib grinding appointments started or they would arrive an hour later. So instead of 6 a.m., I think they were supposed to come out at 7 a.m. But because there was a crowd gathering, expecting and hoping to get their name onto Mr. Masuyama's list, they came out at 6:30 instead of 7 o'clock. So I was able to get my name on that list, but it took from like 6:30 to about 6:40, 6:45 to get everyone's name on the list in the order in which we arrived. And then I had to go back to my room and actually prepare for the show, get ready for the show. And that left no time for me to eat breakfast. I didn't eat breakfast. I'll go ahead and say it now. I didn't eat breakfast at all for the entire weekend. I did not eat breakfast. I ate lunch and dinner, so that's an improvement from last year. I ate at least twice every day with a snack here and there, but 2 full meals per day this year. So that was the first thing that happened. I went back to the room to prepare, get all my supplies and everything for the show that opened up at 9 a.m. But I had a nib appointment with CY of Tokyo Station Pens / Cuseo. So I came down a bit earlier so that I could get in line, and the line was crazy. There were so many people at this year's show. It was insane. I was panicking just a little bit because I was nervous about missing my nib grinding appointment with CY. I was in line trying to get my the all access badge, because they wouldn't let me into the appointment until I had my badge. So I had to get back in. I had to get in the back of the line and get my badge. And then there were a few very helpful people who were working for the pen show that kind of helped me get my badge a little bit earlier so that I can make my appointment with CY. So I got some nibs ground by CY. Let me tell you what those grinds are. So the first one is my Leonardo Momento Zero Nuvola. Wonderful pen with wonderful meaning. I got that one ground from a medium nib to a cursive smooth italic. The second pen is my Pilot Custom 823 in amber with a broad nib, and I got that one ground to an oblique. So it's a left foot oblique broad nib. And the last pen that I got ground by CY was my Leonardo Essenza from a fine nib to a cursive smooth italic nib. All 3 of these pens are excellent writers. They are really great pens, and they were made to write so much more wonderfully by CY. I am so glad that I was able to get an appointment with him, and he's very approachable. I really enjoyed having interactions and new experiences with the nib grinding technicians, as well as just people in general at the San Francisco Pen Show. It was an amazing experience. So that was the first thing that I did. And while I was in there, since I was still in there after I got my nibs ground, I went around checking out some of the other vendors while they were setting up. But there was one who was, I guess, just about ready. And his name is Sean Newton. Excellent, excellent, excellent guy who has wonderful stories about his life and just the work that he does on his fountain pens. So I purchased a Newton fountain pen. So the resin on this pen is called Peach Peacock. I bought it with a medium nib, and the shape or the model of this pen is the Majestic Small. So it is one of the slightly smaller fountain pens. It does post, not super deeply, but it posts securely enough. Just in case this pen is a bit too small for you, it posts really nicely, and it gives it a really nice length. I was just so captivated by the resin and the work that Sean Newton does on his pens. This is super glossy. It feels wonderful. And the only part that is not like high gloss finish is the engraved logo that he has on the pen. It's not something that you can see outside of like shining a light directly on the logo. And I really like that his logo is very subtle on the pen. So this one has a medium Yovo gold plated nib. Okay, so after I purchased this fountain pen, I immediately hunted down Toyooka Craft because I knew that I wanted a 100 pen case. The wood, the craftsmanship, just all of the details were just... I have admired that company for the past 3 years. As long as I've known about Toyooka Craft, that's the amount of time that I have been wanting a product from Toyooka Craft. And so now that I have a pretty sizable fountain pen collection, I knew that I wanted a 100 pen case. So this year they had little tickets that you can pull so that you can come and make your purchase once your number was called. So I was number 15, a friend of mine was number 16. And so we were in line to get whatever products we wanted to purchase that morning, Friday morning. And I bought 100 pen case, and she bought a 100 pen case right after me. And I think those were the only two that they had available at the show. So I was able to get a 100 pen case by Toyooka Craft. So I am so excited. I can't show it to you right now, but I will give you a few glimpses of what it looks like. It's a very deep, dark brown wood color with some gorgeous, soft lavender or lilac interior. I really, really love the look of this case. And so I'm going to have some fun organizing pens really, really soon. Oh my gosh. This is the case right here. This is the box right here with the fountain pen case still inside. I had to go back to the hotel room to put this away because there was no way that I was going to be able to lug this huge box around for the entire day. So I went ahead and stored this in my hotel room. I believe that the next vendor that I visited was Leonardo Officina Italiana, and I purchased one of their newer fountain pen models. This is the Magnifica. I'm not sure what the color scheme is. The colorway is called for this one. I just call it Kente because of the colors. I really, really like it. It has a number 6 steel nib, but it's gold plated, and I got the medium point on here. I really like this pen. I love the shape of it. It reminds me of the Montegrappa Elmo. It is very similar to the Esterbrook Estie, but it feels a little bit smaller though, or a little bit less substantial than the Esterbrook Estie. Does it post? It can, but this is like the shape of pen that I'm not really excited about posting. Yeah, I'd rather not post this one, but it can if you really needed to. After purchasing this fountain pen, my friend Nadia showed me this, and I was like, I was really shocked at how well this matches the fountain pen. So this pen pillow / kimono case, oh, look at that. And it's just nestled so beautifully inside here, inside the little sleeve. Oh, it's so plush, so fluffy. I really like this. I bought this from Bokumondoh, the Urushi Studio Bokumondoh. And it's just so beautiful. So there's like a little bird here and the fish down there. And then there's another fish. But this one is gorgeous. I love these colors. This dark brown and then the greens and then all of these other warm colors as well. And then little blue accents. I just love it. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. So I am really, really happy about getting that one from Bokumondoh. What else? So everything else kind of went by in a blur. So instead of trying to go in order, because I completely forgot the order, I will just start picking things up and let you know where they came from. This is a kakimori or dip pen holder, and I purchased this one from River City Pen Company. So this is the contoured nib holder in the pastel prism material. It's a nice satin finish. I really enjoy holding this. I love these materials. Oh my gosh. So this is the next fountain pen. This is my London Pen Co. Christopher 14. And the material is called Arabian Nights by Jonathan Brooks. I was just so enamored by this material and the quality of the finish. I love these high gloss pens. I am so happy to have encountered pen makers who do like high gloss finishes on their fountain pens. They just make all the difference for me. It just looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so very good. I had so much trouble trying to decide if I wanted the Arabian Nights finish or the Water Lily Koi finish. There was one that was absolutely beautiful. It was flawless. From my perspective, I loved the balance of colors on both pens. I loved the swirling patterns on both of them. And so really it came down to the colors that were in the resin. And the lime green chartreuse type color in the Water Lily Koi was competing against the chocolate brown in the Arabian Nights fountain pen. And then I also had to look at the differences between the pink in the Water Lily Koi finish and this, I don't know, this magenta purple in this fountain pen. I finally made the decision because of the brown in this pen. I really enjoyed the other fountain pen as well, but brown has my heart, man. So I have Arabian Nights, London Pen Co. Christopher 14, and this one takes a Bach nib. I purchased one of the pre-ground nibs that London Pen Co. offered. And this nib was pre-ground into an Imperial by Kirk Spear. And so I was so excited after having tested out that nib. I was like, yep, that's what I want. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. So this is a great, great pen. I really like this pen. Oh, and here is the pen sleeve that came with the pen. Look at the gorgeous colors. And so it's like a little envelope. I can place the pen in there. This velvety interior just feels so nice. Fold that down and tuck it in. There we go. All right, the last fountain pen that I purchased. This is a shocker of a purchase. So this one is from Scopus Pens. This is a little brochure that I got at the pen show. I've got a little bit of information about the inspiration behind some of their fountain pens. The guy who makes and sells these fountain pens, he's so nice. He's cool. Oh my gosh. He's so animated. He's got some great stories to tell, and his friends had great stories to tell about him as well. Like, he was such an amazing person. I am so glad to have purchased a fountain pen from him. This has like so much significance. I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, so this is called the Tree of Life. That's the name that he gave this fountain pen. And it's got an SC engraved finial on here. And this little tree inside the resin of the fountain pen is made from sterling silver. And the rest of the materials in here are like found items from outside, from nature. There are leaves and twigs and probably sand and rocks and all other kinds of things in here as well. I believe I gasped. I was so shocked by the colors and the decisions that he made in the fountain pens that he created. I loved just the look of his table, all of the wonderful things that he made, all of the pen stands, and he even made jewelry, so necklaces and earrings and things like that with the same type of forethought, the same type of planning, the same type of materials went into the jewelry. This was the good one. This was the one that I wanted, that I kept getting drawn back to, because I actually looked at this pen and I was like, it's lovely. It is so nice. And then I left because I was like, I don't know if I want to get this one, because it has a very, very slim, very narrow grip section. It's very narrow. But then I went around the pen show And I started comparing every other fountain pen to this one. And I was like, I'd rather get the Tree of Life than any of these other fountain pens. And that's when I knew that I was like, okay, if that pen is still there, he actually said that he was going to hold it to the side for me. I had 6 hours to make my decision on whether or not I was going to purchase this pen. And I think I probably made my decision in about 1 or 2 hours. So I didn't have to rush back and panic over whether or not this pen would still be there, because he was just so kind enough to hold it for me. After realizing that I was just not going to stop thinking about this pen, and that I would rather have this pen than many of the other ones that I saw at the pen show, I just came back and got it. I was like, you know what? This is an excellent fountain pen. It's a resin pen with all sorts of colors and character in the pen. This one is not as high gloss as the other ones, but I really, really, really like the, what is it called? Like, I don't want to call it like the roughness, but the rustic look and feel of this fountain pen. It's nice. It's nice. So when I purchased this pen, it came in, he gave me this nice little box. So not only did I get the pen when I purchased it, he gave me a nice little pen rest. It is so nice. And so it has like a little piece of wood on the front of it that has the website and his email address. And so if you need to contact him for any reason, there it is, his contact information. And it just looks so nice. Oh my gosh. It's imperfect. And I like that it's imperfect, because it's like he's working with nature. He's working with his materials and not trying to overpower or completely eradicate the characteristics that come with certain materials that you work with. I like everything about the pen. I like everything about the pen. And oh my gosh, if you want to say, threw in another thing. This is the Tree of Life pen stand. So I have a pen stand along with the pen rest and the fountain pen. So I got all 3 of these items for the price of the pen. This pen stand, it goes like that. You can do it upside down if you want to, or you can just use the pen stand to keep your cap in there if you want to. Oh, I just love that piece of wood on the base. This is absolutely less than perfect. This might bother so many people, just the fact that this is rough and that there are bubbles and imperfections that you would not dare tolerate with other fountain pens. But I really think that this adds to the character of his artwork. I made this purchase because I really enjoyed his artwork, his artistry, the effort that he put in, the thoughtfulness of all of these things together, and how he ties all of these items together, and they look like they belong together, and they look like they were all created by the same person. Okay, I think I need to move on, because I could talk about this all day. I just love these items, love these products. I really love the guy that made these things, and the backstories that he talks about with his experiences and the things that he does for others is just, he's an amazing guy. So I am so glad to have made a purchase from Scopus Pens. So if you are interested in just checking out what he does, yeah, you can go to scopuspens.com for more information. Okay, so that's the final fountain pen. Another item that I purchased, and I'm so glad that I did, because it gave me a place to store the fountain pens that I purchased. This is a Rickshaw, I think this is the Sinclair pen case. So it has 3 pen pockets on one side, 1 larger section on the other side. Very, very nice and fluffy on the inside. So this is where I stored my Scopus pen and my Leonardo in here as well. But I purchased this one from Venice Pens. This is just, when I first saw it, I was like, you know what? I think it works for me. I love playing with inks and pens and papers and all of that. And so this just reminds me of the fun that I like to have with my pens and inks. This is my second paper testing memo box from Yamamoto Paper. And I've got some new ones in here. I was able to get 5 paper samples or memo pads. This first one is bank paper, which is different from the bank paper that I typically use. This is just your general bank paper. And the paper that I use in most of my pen and ink tests is the Bank Takasago Premium. And this is just, according to the label, bank paper. So I really wanted to have a sample of that so that I could see if there are differences and what I actually prefer from the two different bank papers. This is Champion copy paper. So let me give you at least the weight of each of these papers. So this regular bank paper is 48.2 GSM. The Champion copy paper is 35 GSM. Is that the thinnest paper that yes, this Champion copy paper is the thinnest that I purchased at the pen show this year. 35 GSM. So let's see. I can go ahead and put these in order of weight. And the next is the Tomoe River paper. I feel like I'm just going to buy Tomoe paper whenever I come across it just because, you know, it's so nice. So there we go. To have some just to compare and enjoy while I still have access to it. This is Light Force paper. It's 68 GSM. And lastly is Smooth Art paper. And it really is smooth paper. And it's thick enough to withstand, I guess, whatever you want to throw at it at 104.7 GSM. I got another ink vial holder. I purchased this one from Galen of the Fountain Pendulum. I really, really wanted to support her shop. Look at that. That's just so nice. So fun. I love that pop of yellow. And this material is walnut or specialty walnut. I really like the fact that there is just a little bit of character right down the middle of these ink vial holes. And of course, you can separate it if you want to. It is magnetic, so if you want that on there, you can. Or if you want to separate them and use just one of them, absolutely fine. But it's so fun, like detaching and reattaching them. But yeah, so got this. And then she threw in this nice little thing right here. This is an Ink Miser holder or an Ink Miser stabilizer. That's what she calls it. And this is in the blonde walnut finish. It's a little bit lighter than your typical walnut. Here's my Ink Miser. And here is the Ink Miser stabilizer. So you just kind of like wedge it in there. And it is so much more stable. And I wouldn't even think that it makes much of a difference because this piece of wood is so light. But it gives enough weight. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it gives just enough weight to the bottom of the Ink Miser so that I am not anxious about knocking it over while I'm trying to fill up a fountain pen. Brilliant. I really like that. I love that, actually. I got a sample of ink from a fellow attendee. This is Diamine Macassar. It's a very deep, dark brown color. So I'm assuming that this is related to the color of Macassar ebony wood. Speaking of samples, did I show? I don't know. I think I showed in the less than stellar footage all of the things that I wanted to donate. So I donated quite a few bottles of ink. I donated 2 large Ziploc bags of ink samples. Were there other things? I donated a whole bunch of stickers and other ephemera that I really just wanted other people to be able to appreciate because I know that I was not taking advantage of any of those products. So I really love going to pen shows so that I can share all of the stuff that is just sitting around and not being enjoyed in my home. Some of the free items that I got. This is Foxglove and Fennel. These are some little stickers and I got these from Jana. It's this SF Pen Show 2024. So I got little, let me go, I guess I should go ahead and open it. I don't want to open it, but it's just so precious. Look at that. I really just wanted to mention them and I'm afraid to open the packaging because it's just so nice. Look at that on the back. Okay, so there's that one. And this might have been on day 2, but I'll just go ahead and show this to you. This is a little writing pad by Endless with their Regalia paper. Very nice. Pretty cool. Just a few sheets of paper that all of the pen show attendees received upon entering. And this is another little gift that I received from a pen friend. This is from Kay. It's a nice little journal with a little magnetic closure. I love the colors on this thing. And it's got Oh, I keep forgetting. Look. Look. That's so cool. Okay. Yeah, so it's been years, maybe decades, since I've had like my own pop-up book. But look, there are really nice, very cool. I like the variation in the pages in this little journal. I highly doubt that it is fountain pen friendly, but this is such a gorgeous notebook, and it would do just fine with like gel pens, ballpoint, rollerball, pencils, and stuff like that. So I think that's really nice. Kay also gave me a Jinhao 82. This has a fine nib, and I got little stickers, I think, as well. So this color scheme is just right up my alley. I like my really rich, warm colors, the greens and the browns, but then I also go towards the more dreamy lavender and teal colors, and so nice. And look at this. These are like little stickers that have little holographic details. So they are high gloss stickers. It may be a bit difficult to tell like what's going on with each one, but there's a little bit of, yeah, there's a little bit of holographic joy in each of the stickers as well. So those are the free items that I got. I attended a class by Corolla, or from Corolla, on social media, and she taught a class on abstract florals. And I just had so much fun playing with inks. This is my first time trying to like paint and draw and all kinds of stuff, so please be gentle, be kind. So yeah, these are little paintings that I did. So this little pink color is a shimmer ink. It is Dominant Industry Daydreamer. And the purple is Esterbrook Lilac Shimmer. And the green that we used was Esterbrook Evergreen. So gorgeous colors that just work really nicely together. I'm gonna have to work on creating a color palette for the times that I want to just try sketching and drawing and painting with these inks. I enjoyed the opportunity that she gave us to put down our perfectionism and just enjoy putting ink on the paper. Just painting, paint, make shapes, and then you can kind of refine those shapes with a pen. So that was cool. We got blotting paper, a little paper towel, a list of supplies, a couple stickers from Corolla, a nice little paintbrush. Is this a Tombow? Yes, this is a Tombow Mono Drawing Pen 05 fine liner. And the little 3 little pots of ink. So it was the pink, the purple, and the green inside these little pots. Pink, purple, green right there. I got a whole bunch of stickers from a bunch of nib grinders and other vendors. I can show you those very, very soon. Day 1 was really cool. I got 4 fountain pens and 1 nib holder on day 1. What did I purchase for day 2? Well, I'll show you this right now. I purchased this on day 2. I believe that this was I keep hearing the name Miami. So I'm assuming that this was like a Miami pen show theme. I'm not sure what the actual name of this one is, but this is an A5 rickshaw bag. So you can fit an A5 book in here, A5 planner, A5 whatever you want in here. And I really loved using this while I was at the pen show. This held the nibs that I needed to be ground. It held the pens that I purchased on Saturday. It held my wallet. It held all sorts of personal things and items that I needed quick access to. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you know the things that I purchased on Saturday. This was another item that I purchased on Saturday, and I'm so glad that I did. Okay, now, let me grab these out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pens. I purchased 7 pens on Saturday. So I did 4.5 on Friday, if you want to count the nib holder as half, you know. And then I did 7 on Saturday. I really thought that I was like, yes, I'm doing better than last year. I had 9 pens. I bought 9 pens at the pen show last year, and I only bought 5 this year. Okay, so let's get into this one. This is the Mayfair fountain pen And I believe this is the Noldor model, Noldor. It is a matte finish fountain pen. And the blank is a Tiffany inspired blank by Turnt Pen Co. I think this might be my first ever blank by Turnt Pen Co. So I have to give credit to Simone for this fountain pen purchase. She purchased one of Mayfair's fountain pens on Friday, and I held her pen, opened it up, and prepared to write just in the air or do dry writing on the paper. But as soon as I like put it in writing position, I was like, oh, I think I need one of those fountain pens. So I sought them out on Saturday, and I went ahead and bought this beautiful specimen of a fountain pen. I have a broad nib on this one. Haven't touched the nib at all because I just want to have fun with this one. There are a few fountain pens that I'm just excited about having fun with them. So this is one. It has a Yoko broad nib. The next one is this Esterbrook Estie in the Funky Lake finish. Is their Back to the Land series of fountain pens. And I purchased the button piston version of this pen. And it's got a medium steel nib on here. It's just so nice. I really like how these pens look without the extra color. I mean, I know there's extra color right here at the end of the cap. It's got the little brown bit there. But I really like how fancy this thing looks with just the blue and the gold. This teal blue color and gold, right up my alley. Really love it. I also tested the mini stub. I really, really enjoy that nib grind, and so I may get a mini stub nib sometime in the future. Yeah, it reminds me of a smooth cursive italic, sharper than a stub, but still forgiving enough for everyday writing. So this third fountain pen is a Magna Carta Prince fountain pen, and I need to give credit for Simone for piquing my interest in Magna Carta fountain pens, because she tried one on Friday and was like, it's so good, but I don't know if I'm going to use it. So I went to visit Magna Carta to test out their nib, and I was like, it's so good. I think I'm going to use it anyway. I don't always use brush writing or calligraphy or do fancy flex nib writing, but this is just so nice. I love the bounciness, the responsiveness, the flexy snapback of this nib, but I really fell in love with the shape of this pen. And I also have to give credit to Karina Loves the Plan. Karina and I bumped into each other, and we took a look at Mayfair fountain pens together. She picked up a few pens, and I was like, that one is your pen. That right there, that dusty, rosy pink color is just, I feel like that's a color that's like right up her alley. And then I picked up this pen, and she was like, that's your pen. It was just so hilarious how I can just see a pen and say that, nah, that's Karina, up and down. And she looks at a pen and says, that's Kristen, up and down. Like, that's her pen. And she was right. And I think I was right. So she ended up buying one of the, I think it was the Mag 650 with the flex nib. And I've got the Prince with the flex nib. So it's the same nib as the 600 and the 650 pens, but it's just a different shape. I really, really enjoy cigar shaped pens and the fountain pens with conical ends. And I've got one of those to show you as well. So this is so nice. I don't remember the name of this material because it's a 4-digit number, but I'll put it on the screen for you. It's so nice. It's so nice. This one has that fine flex nib. It is a cartridge converter fill pen. That click though, why does it click? I don't know what the clicking is about. Can you hear it? It feels like the nib is clicking on the walls of this cap, but I have no idea. I don't know. And we'll see if it's actually clicking, if the nib is actually clicking against the walls of the pen once I ink it up. So if it starts clicking and like flicking ink all inside the cap, then I know that I need to contact Magna Carta. But it's such a pretty pen. It's such a pretty pen. I hope everything's all right with that one. Okay, so this fountain pen purchase almost did not happen. So when people say that you should bring cash with you to the pen show, they're not always talking about budgeting. It is very important, absolutely important, to know what your budget is. And if you need that type of accountability, please do, by all means, bring cash with you to the pen show. But for me, I'm very uncomfortable having cash on me, at least the amount of cash that is required for the type of purchases that I was making at the pen show. But in this one particular situation, it would have been very helpful for me to have cash on my person. Magna Carta was not able to make transactions that were not in cash. So PayPal, Venmo, any other shop app type transactions on your mobile devices, they were not options for me. This guy was so kind enough to come up with an alternate solution from that situation. Thank you so much to the vendors of Magna Carta. I was able to walk away with this beautiful Magna Carta Prince fountain pen. I'm happy. I will go ahead and go to this one. This is a Scopus Pens Rickshaw pen sleeve. It's so gorgeous. And it matches so well with the fountain pen that I purchased from Scopus Pens. This is the Choya model with a resin by Betwixt Between Studios. And the resin does not have a name. It is just this gorgeous green, and maybe it's black and gold and pink with shimmer just dispersed throughout. I love the look of this pen. I love the resin. I love the colors in the resin. It's just so nice. And I bought this one with a double broad nib because they had it. This is my first ever double broad nib, and I didn't get a grind on it because I just want to see how much fun a double broad nib would be for me.
Now we're getting into the more expensive fountain pens. So this is $500, and this one is a ridiculous amount of money, and that one is a ridiculous amount of money. Okay,
so this fountain pen, I purchased this one from Urushi Studio India. Look at this gorgeous thing with the velvety interior. But this is a teal Urushi pen from Urushi Studio India. It's got the conical ends that I really, really enjoy. And it has a steel nib. It's a gold-plated steel nib, medium. This was ground into a scythe by Kirk Spear, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love the color on this pen. I love the finish. It is so high gloss, very nice. And I love this horizontal pattern. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know the name of the finish. I need to contact Urushi Studio India to see if they can give me the name of this type of Urushi work, or if you have any idea about what this type of Urushi work is called, let me know in the comments. And this pen came with such a gorgeous pen sleeve. I love the colors on this one. Next is a fancy one that I got from Say Pen. And I also don't know the name of this type of Urushi work. It's highly textured. It's a nicely textured finish. And I can feel all of the spray painting. I'm not sure if it's actual spray painting, but it just reminds me of graffiti and really rough type artistic work. I was drawn to both ends of the spectrum, like the super thorough, super perfectionist type work on these fountain pens, but also the ones that were just, they looked freeform and they gave so much expression and character to the fountain pens. So I really, really enjoy the look and the feel of this one. And it's got the same treatment on the section. This has a steel broad nib that I had ground into a cursive smooth italic by Mike Masuyama. So Mike Masuyama was actually shocked at the quality and the look of this fountain pen. So I'm like, I've never seen Mike Masuyama shocked about anything. And Emiko, they were both like, what? What is this? Who did this? Who made this pen? So Say Pen created this beautiful masterpiece. And Mike Masuyama warned me to be very, very intentional about how I handle this pen. He said, do not scratch this. So I will not scratch this. I'm going to put this pen in a sleeve that has a little bit more cushion and a little bit more soft fuzziness to make sure that it does not get scratched either unintentionally or like damaged by whatever sort of impact. So this one, as well as the Urushi Studio India fountain pen, I'm going to put them in a really nice pen sleeves or a pen case. The last fountain pen that I bought was a pretty expensive one. So this last fountain pen that I purchased was the pen to end all pen purchases for the 2024 San Francisco Pen Show. This is a fountain pen that was made by Stilo Art. It is absolutely gorgeous. This is a wood pen. This is Japanese maple. And I just love the way that I just love the little ripples and the characteristics on the pen. It looks like there is a pattern, but also it looks freeform and still natural. Like, it's not perfectly symmetrical, it's not a perfect pattern, but it is patterned enough to see that, wow, nature creation is just amazing. Opening this fountain pen, oh my gosh. This has a number 30 pilot nib. A number 30 pilot nib. The Pilot Custom 74 has a number 5 nib. The Pilot Custom 742 has a number 10 pilot nib. The Pilot Custom 823, 743, they have the size 15 nib. This is a Pilot size 30 nib. And it came from, is it the Pilot Custom Urushi? So this is a very expensive fountain pen. This is probably the most expensive fountain pen that I have in my collection now. It is so good. This wasn't one of my planned purchases, but I was encouraged by a new friend. I will call you Miss B. I was introduced to this pen and this size 30 nib by Miss B. Thank you, Miss B. I'll call you Miss B because I'm not sure if you actually want your name out there on the internet. So this is a gorgeous pen. She signed my name up for Mr. Mike Masayama to get this nib ground on Sunday morning. I think she's got plenty of these types of fountain pens by Steel Art, and she really just wanted me to experience the same thing. So she was like, try this nib, try this pen. I want you to try it. You got to try it. So I tried it and I was like, oh, that's nice. And then she said, now, here's my pen by the same company, but with a Mike Masayama grind. Try this. And I was like, oh, I think I need this ground by Mr. Mike Masayama. So she helped me find this pen. I bought the pen. And then she helped me get it ground by Mike Masayama. This has the Cursive Smooth Italic by Mike Masayama. And it's a little bit more on the sharper side. This is more like what Miss B has on her fountain pens. She likes her CSIs to be a little bit sharper. And that's what I got on here, as well as on a second fountain pen, the Say fountain pen. The one that Mr. Mike Masayama told me to be careful with. These both have the CSI, but with a slightly sharper feel to them. So I'm going to be real gentle with these fountain pens because they're just so nice. And they cost a pretty penny too. Okay, so that's that one. I got these two freebies. This is a nib wipe. So once you finish inking up your pen, you can wipe it off with this little nib wipe. And this is a little, either you can call it a bookmark, or you can actually use it to hook your pen to your notebook. Is there anything else? I received this as a gift from a sailor. I was so sad to have missed the Sailor 2024 Pen Show ink. It is a nice, warm, almost grungy olive green color. It's a really deep green color, and I really like the color, the shade of that ink. So hopefully it will be made available sometime in the future, but they told me not to count on it. I forgot to mention one little thing. It's a small detail, but it meant so very much to me. When I found out that the Sailor 2024 Pen Show ink was sold out, one of the kind ladies at the Sailor table was nice enough to let me fill up one of my fountain pens with her bottle of Sailor 2024 Pen Show ink. She was so very kind. Thank you so much, Lupe, for your kindness and for letting me experience some of your fountain pens. It was such a joy talking with her and learning more about the fountain pens that are part of her collection. So here is a little bit of footage of the fountain pen that she allowed me to fill to capacity. Oh my gosh, how kind is that? It is such a wonderful ink, such a deep, dark olive green color, and I really hope that this Pen Show ink will be made available somewhere online. But if anyone knows about any fountain pen ink that is similar to this one, feel free to drop that name in the comments. Let me know what experience you have with fountain pen inks that are similar to this color. I would love to try them out. So after having purchased those four and a half pens on Friday, I really wanted to focus on inks for Saturday because I was like, how is it possible that I went in the entire day without having purchased an ink? So I really wanted to find some really nice ink colors. So I'll show you what I got. So this Rickshaw A5 bag, I purchased this one from Addendum. Well, actually, before I purchased that bag, I bought 2 inks by Addendum. This is Luna Moth Green, and I also purchased Colossal Squid Dark. So those are 2 really, really nice colors that I really, really fell in love with when I was there testing inks at their station. And then after I made the purchase, I realized that I actually wanted the A5 bag. So I bought the A5 bag as well. Here are 2 inks that I purchased. Well, actually, I purchased 4 inks. And they are Sailor 56 Texas and Utah. And I also purchased Tom's Studio 16 and 17. 16 is Sunny Teal and 17 is Damson. I bought Kobe number 40 Sumiyoshi Brown. It seems that every time I look at a specific Kobe ink, it's like, oh, that is so nice. What color is that? Sumiyoshi Brown. It has happened in multiple locations, multiple different times, in different situations where it's just like, okay, I keep seeing Sumiyoshi Brown in different situations, and I love and inquire about this ink every time I see it. So I bought a bottle of Sumiyoshi Brown directly from Kobe, and I also bought from Tasya a 40 ml bottle of ink. This is Tsuchi. And I also bought this Hokusai Ukiyo-e collection of their 4 most popular colors. So this one has Sabi Midori. I already have this ink, but I bought this collection for these other 3. So the first one is Benitsuchi. This is Fukaki Hanada and Koyai. So those are the inks that I got on Saturday. I met up with so many people throughout the pen show, and because so many things happened, I bought so many pens and so many inks throughout the entire pen show that I don't understand like what happened and when. Everything just happened in a blur. Oh my gosh. I can't for the life of me tell you when I met which person or when I met certain people. So I know I saw people on Friday. I know I saw people on Saturday. I know I saw people on Sunday. But it's just like, I saw people at the pen show. I saw Maria. I saw Simone. I saw Karina. I took Corolla's class. I saw Jana. I saw Christy of Snarky Wordsworth. I learned her name because it was always Snarky Wordsworth to me. So I learned that her name is Christy. I met Rachel or Instarax. Is that how you pronounce your screen name, your Instagram name? I'm not sure, but such a wonderful person. These are so wonderful. Like, these people are so wonderful at the pen show. I met Leanne Likes. Oh my gosh. Hi, Leanne. So, I am so overwhelmed by the kind-heartedness of the people in the fountain pen community. There are times when you hear less than pleasant experiences and stories that people have within the fountain pen community, whether it's in the comment section, whether it's on a social media platform, or whether it's in person and something has been stolen or lost, and I don't know. But my experiences at this 2024 San Francisco Pen Show has been overwhelming in the best sense. It was overwhelming because of the sheer number of people in each of the on each of the days, but it's also overwhelming in the sense that people are so nice. There are still good people in the world, and I am so happy to know that and to understand that. Like, Leanne, you're a gem. Simona, you are amazing. I need to stop naming people because it is just, I can't even name everyone who has done something kind for me or on behalf of other people at the conference, or on behalf of other people at the pen show. It's just such a relief and such encouragement to know that there are wonderful people who mean the best, who want the best for those around them and not just for themselves. And so that was one of the biggest things, is just learning like, oh my gosh, you're awesome. to just think that and say that to so many people, like, oh, you're awesome, you're so cool, you're so kind. And yeah I know at least this much. On Saturday evening, a lot of people from Simona's Discord were able to go out to have dinner like around the corner from the hotel. It was amazing to be able to talk pens with people who also love pens, but it was an even better experience to be able to talk about things that were unrelated to pens. It was great. I can't even say anything else except it was great. I had so much fun. And oh yeah, I was able to let go of 3 fountain pens. So these weren't like $5 pens. These were like $100 pens ish. Yeah. So I sold my Lamy 2000 to Leanne, one of the kindest people that I've ever encountered. Like, she's so cool. I gave away my Franklin Christoph as a thank you for someone who has done so much for me. I don't even think she understands like how much I appreciate her just being who she is in the world. Okay. And I gave away my Platinum 3776 Century Chenonceau White. I knew that one was going to leave my collection at some point. Like, these are excellent pens, excellent writers, but I really enjoy other fountain pens in my collection more. And so I wanted to take the opportunity to let other people appreciate them more than I could. So the Platinum, I actually gave that one away. The Franklin Christoph, I gave that one away as well. And I sold the Lamy 2000. Okay, Sunday. I bought some inks at Drumgools because they had a sale. Was it buy 3 for the price of 4? No. Buy 4 for the price of 3. Oh my gosh. I did get the official pen show ink. This is Colorverse San Francisco Bay. I bought a couple extras for some friends of mine, and we're gonna meet up and do a swap. These other 4 inks I bought from Drumgools when they were having a 4 for the price of 3 fountain pen sale. And these are all Sailor 50 States inks. So I have Idaho, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And it's interesting that the types of ink colors that I bought, like these tealy green colors from Enderilium and Colorverse and Tom's Studio. So all of these are like this tealish green ink color. I've got my brown inks by Kobe, Tasia, and Sailor. So Idaho is part of that list. So I've got these 5 inks, 5 brown inks. And then I've got blue purple type ink colors. And then I've got like this sampler. Once again, this teal color, this brownish, this like a reddish brown color. Maybe with Sumiyoshi, maybe, I don't know. And then these 2 blue inks, Sailor 50 States Pennsylvania, that's probably similar to one of those. This plethora, this abundance of transactions that I made at the pen show, it's still good to see and to know and to understand that I'm still operating within the boundaries of my preferences. I told you about the grinds that I got on Friday morning from CY. So that's the Leonardo Momento Zero Nuvola that went from a medium to a cursive smooth italic, the Pilot Custom 823 in amber that went from a broad to an oblique broad, the Leonardo Essenza from a fine to a cursive smooth italic. I also went to Matthew Chen. I signed up for his list as well, and I was able to be seen by him. Actually, I got my appointment with him before my appointment with Mike Masayama that day. So Friday, I went to Matthew Chen, and I got my Bennett Euphoria Pink Champagne ground into a big point. So it started off as a broad nib, and then he did the big point grind. And so it's like an extra fine nib on the regular side. And then you turn that thing over, and it's even thicker than a Fude nib. It's just so fun to play with. And I'm excited about that one. I really wanted to have a fun nib grind on a fun fountain pen. And I think that Pink Champagne is like the perfect choice for such a nib grind. And the second pen that I got ground by Matthew Chen was my Gutoshi handmade fountain pen. This fountain pen was made from a beautiful ebonite material. I love the colors in the ebonite, but I did not enjoy the nib that it came with. It came with a silver nib, but a gold clip. And that just bothered me to no end. So I swapped out that nib for a gold-plated Esterbrook broad nib. And I got that broad nib ground to initially a stub. And then I realized the stub is just a little bit too soft for me. I want more line variation. So I asked him to make it a bit sharper, which probably turned it into a cursive smooth italic. But I'm just going to call it a sharp stub because he initially started it out as a stub nib. And so after Matthew Chen's appointment, I had an appointment with Mike Masayama. And I got him to fix my Pelican M1000. And I have not posted my Pelican M1000 unboxing video because I was less than impressed by the nib itself. It's a gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful giant nib. And it's nice and soft and bouncy and everything. But it clicked every time I tried to write with it, it just like the tines clicked against each other whenever I put the nib to paper. I asked Mike Masuyama to fix that and put a cursive smooth italic grind on there. And he did some magic, some awesome stuff. He set it into like some hot water, steam rising from the water and everything. I just thought that this was so cool to see nib. I don't even want to call them nib grinders anymore because they do so much more than just grinding nibs. Prime evidence, this Pelican M1000 that clicked every time I wrote with it, the clicking is gone. It feels like it didn't even exist. Like the clicking was all in my mind, but I have footage. I have proof, and there was footage of me complaining about the clicking of the nib, but it's just, he made it so that it was like, was this ever a problem? I don't believe that this pen had a problem because it just writes so beautifully, so effortlessly, so flawlessly. So it has a perfect cursive smooth italic grind on it now, and I'm so happy with that one. The second fountain pen that I had him grind was the Platinum Izumo fountain pen. It went from a medium nib to a cursive smooth italic nib. Writes wonderfully as well. I am so happy with that fountain pen. So those were all the nib grinds that I got on Friday. So on Saturday, late morning, I went to see Annabelle Hiller. She is such a kind person. Oh my gosh, so cool. Now, I had 2 fountain pens that I wanted ground by her. And she was upfront with me to let me know that, okay, we can only get through 1 fountain pen in this block. And I am okay with that. I love the honesty and the forthright explanation. Like, if you work slowly, I'm fine with you working slow. Because I trust that she does excellent work. Annabelle Hiller does excellent work on creating nibs, custom nibs. Like, her nibs are just amazing, mind-blowing, out of my budget, but mind-blowing, absolutely wonderful, gorgeous nibs. And she also grinds nibs. So I had to work on my Mont Blanc La Boheme, and I got a smooth cursive italic grind on that one. She did warn me that because that fountain pen only fills by cartridge, it's going to feel like a dryer writer. So absolutely fine with me. I'm glad. Like, she did some surgery on that fountain pen, just as much surgery that Mike Masuyama had to do with the Pelican M1000. He had to completely disassemble the nib unit and get some work and do some work on that nib, and also like dunk it in hot water and do all kinds of stuff with that thing. And she did almost as, I don't think she had like a pot of hot water, but she had to do some disassembling, and she really worked on that nib, and it is just wonderful. We had some really nice conversations. I really enjoyed interacting with people this year. Oh my gosh, like, what have I been missing all my life as an introvert, avoiding conversations and interactions with other people? I enjoyed every bit of it this year. Even like strangers waiting in line and just talking to people like, we're in this together, waiting on grinds. We're in this together, like trying to get into the pen show. Like, when are they open the doors? We're in this together, have some conversation, talk about the things that we like, but we don't like. Suhwa, hi! So it's just meeting you guys who were at the pen show. I thank you for coming to speak and to say hi. I enjoyed every single conversation, every interaction. I'm still amazed that there are people out in the world who watch my videos and think that they are helpful. I am so glad that they are helpful to you. It started as me just wanting to record my thoughts so that I don't forget them. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just recording my thoughts so that I don't forget what I experienced at the 2024 pen show. Yeah, it differs pretty significantly from the 2023 pen show. So after Annabelle Hiller, I had an appointment. Well, Kirk Spear was later. Kirk Spear was absolute last at the pen show. My appointment with Kirk Spear was almost at the very end of the pen show. I had my appointment with him at 3:30. Because of the kindness of Ms. B, I was able to get an appointment with Mike Masuyama again on Sunday for my Japanese wood pen with the Pilot number 30 nib and one more fountain pen, the Sei fountain pen with the very unique urushi finish. So the Sei pen I got ground into a cursive smooth italic nib, and the Stilo Art fountain pen, the Japanese maple fountain pen, I got that one ground into the cursive smooth italic. So those were the 2 slightly on the sharp side cursive smooth italic fountain pens that I got ground by Mike Masuyama. Now, on Sunday afternoon with Kirk Spear, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my time with Kirk Spear, because I knew that I wanted something done. I got him to work on this one. Yeah, I forgot that I was able to do more than just 2 grinds by Kirk Spear. I got 4 nibs ground by him last year. And because I had gotten into the practice of doing 2 nib grinds per nib technician, magician. I did too with Kirk Spear. So this was the Urushi Studio India fountain pen, as well as something else. There was a second. Oh, it was my Santini Italia Libra fountain pen in the Fifth Avenue finish. I purchased that fountain pen with an in-house metallic nib grind, but it always felt unfinished to me. Like there was just something rough about it. And it's not that it was ground to a sharp metallic where the corners and the angles and everything were just unforgiving based on your writing angle. It felt unfinished, especially with my upstrokes. Like that was just super rough. And so Kirk Spear took a look at it and he was like, yeah, no, this was not finished. So he evened out the issues, like he fixed the issues, evened everything out, and then he gave it a cursive smooth italic grind. And that was, I think that was one of my favorite nib grinds of the weekend. Outside of Mike Masuyama's grinding of these fancy nibs for me, like the Pelican M1000, that is amazing. The other Pilot number 30 nib, that is amazing. And the Santini Libra ground by Kirk Spear is right up there with those two. That is amazing. An amazing fountain pen with an amazing nib, with an amazing grind by an amazing person. So it's just made me happy. Made me so happy. All right, so that is so much. This is so much. This is a lot of talking, a lot of updating on everything that happened at the pen show. I hope that's everything. If that's not everything, I will let you know with a little addendum, a little PS action. I tried my best to write down the purchases that I made. There might have been one or two that I completely forgot to write down, but as far as just recording things, I just recorded them in my planner, as well as the nib grinds that I had done. I need to completely redo what I got done by Kirk Spear. I had planned to get my Santini done by Kirk Spear, which I did. The Visconti Dark Age, I was undecided about that one because the Visconti Homo Sapiens Dark Age has a medium nib. It is so juicy, it is so thick. But then if you put the right ink in there, and it's just like, don't touch the nib. I don't want nothing messing up this nib. It is just the perfect writing experience. I love the nib on that pen, and I decided not to get that one ground. I didn't want anybody to touch that nib. That one was thrown out. I was thinking about getting the Montblanc 145 ground, but I forgot about that one, which I'm okay with forgetting about that one and just having it ground sometime in the future, whether it's next year or if I feel comfortable sending it to a nib grinder, I might do that. I might choose that option. But I am so happy with the grinds that I did get this year. I think that this is going to keep me occupied for a long time. And it better, because I spent some money. Okay, so I am just looking down around at everything that is surrounding me right now. And I am happy with the pen purchases that I made. I am happy so far with the nib grinds that I've gotten. I am happy so far, at least with the colors of the inks that I've purchased. I will sample those and probably post them on Instagram at a later time. So if you want to check out the colors and how they look and all of that good stuff, check out my Instagram account. It's Life Inspires Design. The things that I learned this year, I learned that I'm going to need my own lighting in the hotel room. Okay, so last year, I was able to go back to my room and film during daylight hours. So the lighting was wonderful. This year, I didn't get back to my room until like 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. And the sun's going down and the lighting in the room is super warm. So I'm like, everything is turning more and more and more and more yellow. So one of the videos that I was able to record, it goes from like regular good natural lighting to like just yellow candlelight almost. I need to bring my own lights just in case I'm not able to take advantage of the big huge windows in the hotel room. So I need to make sure that I bring my own lighting. I need to make sure I have plenty of storage space, or at least an opportunity to transfer my files so that I have storage space to record more videos, because I couldn't record anything for like most of day 2 or any of day 3. So that's another reason why I recorded at home, because I didn't have a good lighting. I didn't have enough space to record I took too much stuff with me. I brought too much stuff with me. I prepared myself for many different types of situations. I was like, okay, so if I'm able to sit down and like swatch inks and test things, I need to have my supplies. So I've got the brush, I've got the Kakimori nib. The only thing that I didn't have was the coloring cards, but I had extra paper so that I could write on the paper and then put it in the little binder immediately. I had the binder with me that has all of my swatching papers. And so I brought those items. I didn't use a single piece of extra like A5 paper because everything that I did and I tested and I tried out, I put it in my planner. Another thing was that I brought my cleaning supplies. I think it was good to have my cleaning supplies because I actually needed them last year. So I brought them this year. I just didn't have the time at the end of the day to use those cleaning supplies to clean pens and maybe even ink them up at the show. That was unfortunate, but it was also okay because I know the reason why I didn't have time to do that was because I was interacting with so many people and enjoying my time at the show. During the 2023 San Francisco Pen Show, I was able to visit the ink station every single day. This year, I was not able to do so because it was so busy. There were so many people who were always surrounding the ink stations. And I'm so glad that they broke them up this year. So there were different locations in the pen show where you could go and retreat. They were out in the hallways, but there were different locations in multiple hallways around the ballroom where you could just retreat, have a seat, and then try out the different inks from various brands. But this year, I was not able to take advantage of those because of the fact that the show was so crowded and because of the fact that I was always doing something or going somewhere or exploring something or meeting people. And I absolutely loved the fact that there was just so much to do and explore and so many people to connect with. There weren't enough hours in the day to also explore these different inks. So this is pretty much all I was able to capture. I think I visited only 2 ink stations, but there were several that I missed. But I'm just going to have to be okay with that because I preferred the experience that I had. And I would not have traded my experiences for the time to sit and explore these new inks because I can always go back and look at the names. I have a record of all of the inks that were made available for testing at the pen show. So if any of those are interesting to me, I can definitely go online and check them out. It's just a really valuable experience to explore them in person. And if you have some free time that's not occupied by other wonderful things, I would highly recommend that you check out the ink stations if they are available at your pen show. I loved that every moment was filled with a pleasant experience. Every moment except one. Lunchtime on Saturday. I had gotten to the point where I was hungry and I was squished. I had absolutely no personal space by like 10, 11, 12 o'clock on Saturday. It was so crowded on Saturday. I feel like it was a fire hazard. There were certain areas within the pen show, within the hotel, that just felt like it was a fire hazard because people couldn't move. We couldn't breathe. There was no way to get around. Like you were stuck just standing there because there were so many people just in the way. Not that like there wasn't even enough room to like brush past people. Like, excuse me. There were certain moments where you could not move until the crowd up in front of you moved. Saturday was a bit rough trying to navigate in the midst of the crowds, as well as the fact that I had not eaten breakfast. I was lugging around probably a good deal of things, and it was lunchtime and I had not eaten. And so by the time I escaped to my room, I didn't have enough energy left to do or to think about anything. Thank you, Simona, for your Discord, because I just did like a little random, hey, I'm in my hotel room, I'm hungry, but I don't want to go anywhere. And they don't do room service at this hotel. That was another complaint. I am so shocked that there was no room service at the host hotel. They wouldn't bring you any food. You had to go get it. And I was just so tired, so drained, and so hungry by that time. I didn't feel like moving at all. And somebody reminded me, like, do you have any snacks with you? Yes, I had snacks with me. I brought snacks with me this time. And I forgot that I had snacks. And then someone else from the Discord was like, well, what about DoorDash? Do they bring things to you? Like, is that an option? Oh, why didn't I think of that? Let me see if I can get DoorDash. Done. My brain was just not functioning by Saturday afternoon because of everything that was just flooding my system. So I had shut down by lunchtime on Saturday. So I retreated into my room, had a little snack so that I could think straight enough to order lunch. And then I got my lunch, ate my lunch. So I think I stayed away from the pen show for about 2-3 hours on Saturday afternoon before coming back out and like facing the public again. That was that day. And that was the evening that we went out and had dinner with others from the Discord server, from Simona's Discord server. I realized this year that I was much more interested in small maker fountain pens, Newton pens, Scotty pens, Mayfair, Scopus pens, the Japanese makers, like, oh my goodness, Fountain Pendulum, and Aurelium. I was really intrigued by a lot of those things. So I headed specifically to some of the larger vendors, Sailor, Tassia, Nagasawa, like the platinum fountain pens. I really wanted to look and see what types of platinum fountain pens were available through Nagasawa Koei, but I wasn't really drawn to any of that. I wasn't drawn to any of the Tassia fountain pens. I was not drawn to a Sailor fountain pen, even though they had like a couple sales. They were like really nicely priced, but I liked Newton pens. I liked Mayfair. I was blown away by Scopus pens. I was blown away by Japanese and Indian urushi fountain pens. They were just so nice. That's where I focused my attention. You know, there were other places where I had already made the decision to purchase these pens. The Leonardo new model fountain pen, as well as the Esterbrook Estie in the Funky Lake finish. Those were two pens that I already knew that I wanted to purchase, but I just had to see them and experience them in person to make that final decision. But the others were just like, I was open to the larger makers and I just wanted to see what was available from the smaller makers. But I was drawn in by the smaller makers so very strongly this year. I'm very happy with my pen purchases and ink purchases and purchases of other accessories this year. I was supposed to participate in a second class on Sunday. It was the Modify Your Parallel Nibs workshop class. I had already paid for it and I was ready to go, but I ended up missing that one because I was up next with Mr. Mike Masuyama, and I would rather miss all the classes at the pen show than miss my appointment with Mr. Mike Masuyama. Hopefully that will be offered next year, or if I really, really want to learn how to do that, I can just, I will try looking up some information online because I've seen videos and also read articles or blog posts about how to modify your parallel nibs, but I just figured that it would be really nice to have that in-person instruction and be able to ask questions and receive feedback based on my specific experiences and actions. I'm glad that I got my nibs ground because that was my number one priority, was to get specific nibs ground by nib meisters, nib technicians at the pen show this year. So there are a few things that I forgot to mention in my debriefing video, so I'll go ahead and mention them now. So this is a Cosmo Airlight notebook, 300-page notebook by Odyssey Notebook, thick. And it is a soft cover notebook, paperback if you want to call it that. I forgot to mention that I purchased one of Kirk Spears' 2024 Pen Show nib units. So this is a Bach nib unit with his 2024 Pen Show design on it, and it's a broad nib. I made that purchase at the same time that I got two nibs ground by him. And I also wanted to mention the fact that I recorded all of my experiences with new pens and new nibs on these pages in my planner. I'm so glad that I had this just readily available because everything else was packed away in my overstuffed backpack. So next time I want to make sure that I bring fewer pens, less paper, fewer notebooks, so that I can have quick and easy access to the ones that matter the most, because I found myself mostly making notes with the gel pen that I had on hand because it was with this notebook. So next year, I'm going to make sure that I have one of my wonderful Pilot Vanishing Points available so that I can make notes the way that I want to. But this was a really good system. I just want to streamline everything for next year. So that's the nib, the notebook. I might have mentioned this before, but I probably didn't mention enough detail. This is Colorverse San Francisco Bay. This was the 2024 Pen Show ink. I bought 3 bottles. I have an extra bottle that went home in somebody else's bag, but I'll get that extra one soon enough. But I bought 3 bottles because 2 of these belong to a couple friends of mine. I did not do the scavenger hunt in order to get a free bottle of the Pen Show ink because I was tired. I was really tired. I was mentally and physically tired, fatigued by the time I figured out exactly where the Pen Show ink was being sold and distributed. It was on Sunday afternoon, so I had already experienced all of the highs and lows of Saturday, Sunday morning, trying to make sure that I get a Nib Grind appointment with Mike Masayama, and just coming off of the high of the entire weekend. After having visited and really focused and invested my time and energy on each of the vendors that I visited on Friday and Saturday and half of Sunday, I don't think I had enough energy and willpower to do that again, to get a bottle of ink. I just went ahead and paid for the bottle. I think that is everything. Yeah, so there is just so much around me right now. I know that I'm going to be swatching inks for quite some time. I'm going to be trying out new fountain pens for quite some time because I bought 4 on Friday and then 7 on Saturday. So that's 11 pens, up from 9 last year. And they are much more expensive than the ones that I got last year, I think. So if you have any questions about the things that I purchased, if you want to know some more information, please let me know and I'll see what I can do. And let me know if you have experience with any of these inks and pens and other accessories, or have supported any of these vendors. What experiences do you have with them? What was the most notable in this collection of items that I purchased at the pen show? Have you been to a pen show? Did you go to the San Francisco pen show? So I know that I was not able to see a few people at the San Francisco pen show this year. I really wish that I was able to see you all. But let me know if you were there. Let me know if you're preparing to go to another pen show. What lessons did you learn? I want to know what you learned and what advice you would give me so that I would have a better, more streamlined experience next year. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so appreciative of all of the time that you spend watching my videos and giving me feedback. I really, really, really want to thank you for your comments, for interacting, for coming up to me to say hi. I want to thank you just for watching the video. I really appreciate you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.